The galactic hub station orbited the neutral zone between three major stellar empires, a place where 1,000 species mingled in the perpetual twilight of artificial suns. Lieutenant Marcus Webb stood near the observation deck, his coffee growing cold in his hands as he watched the endless stream of alien vessels docking and departing. He'd been stationed here for 6 months now, one of only 3 humans on the entire station. Earth was still new to the galactic community, barely a decade since first contact, and humanity remained a curiosity to most species, a footnote in the cosmic catalogue of sentient life. The food court hummed with activity. Methane breathers occupied sealed booths, their blue-tinged atmosphere visible through transparent walls. Silicon-based chromoth shuffled past on crystalline legs that chimed like wind chimes. A family of Valerian traders, their fur shimmering with bioluminescent patterns, haggled with a Dronese merchant over shipping routes. Marcus noticed the shift before most others did. The ambient noise dropped several decibels. Conversation stuttered. The Valerian's fur dimmed to a cautious gray. Even the chromoth, who rarely showed emotion through their mineral faces, seemed to vibrate at a different frequency. A Karvesh had entered the food court. Marcus had read about them but never seen one in person. The creature stood nearly 8 feet tall, its 6 limbs ending in serrated claws that could slice through standard hull plating. Its exoskeleton was a deep midnight blue, polished to a mirror sheen, and its compound eyes scanned the crowd with predatory precision. The translator implant in Marcus's ear picked up the clicking, chittering sounds it made, a language that always sounded vaguely threatening, even when discussing the weather. The Karvesh were apex predators from a death world that made Earth look like a vacation resort. They'd only recently been admitted to the Galactic Council after centuries of isolationist expansion. Their idea of diplomacy involved making it clear they could kill you but were choosing not to. Today, Marcus watched as the creature moved through the crowd. Every species gave it a wide berth. A group of Pilthian scholars, beings that stood barely 3 feet tall with skin like wet clay, practically fled from their table. The Dronese merchant's tentacles coiled tight against its body in a defensive posture. The Karvesh was hunting. Not literally, of course. Predation was illegal on neutral stations. But it was selecting, choosing a target for intimidation, establishing dominance, feeding on fear the way its ancestors had fed on flesh. This was sport for them, a way to remind the galaxy of their place in the hierarchy. Its eyes fixed on the Valerian family. The father pulled his children closer, their fur now completely colorless with terror. The Karvesh clicked with what Marcus's implant translated as amusement. It took a step toward them. "Hey," Marcus called out, his voice cutting through the tense silence. "There a problem here?" Every eye in the food court turned to him. The Karvesh's head swiveled with disturbing fluidity, its compound eyes regarding this small, bipedal creature with pale skin and inexplicable confidence. Marcus took a sip of his cold coffee and waited. The Karvesh's mandibles clicked rapidly. "Human," its translator rendered in a voice like grinding metal. "You address me?" "Yeah," Marcus said, setting down his cup. "You seem to be bothering these folks. They're just trying to eat." A ripple went through the crowd. The concept of a human, intervening on behalf of anyone against a Karvesh was absurd. Humans were soft. They had no natural weapons, no armor, no venom. They came from a world with comfortable gravity and breathable atmosphere. They were prey species masquerading as sophons. The Karvesh tilted its head, a gesture it had learned from watching other species express confusion. "You, defend them?" "Don't need to defend anyone," Marcus said, walking forward slowly. "Just think maybe you should pick on someone your own size." The creature's laugh sounded like shattering glass. "You volunteer yourself, soft skin. If that's what it takes." The Karvesh moved closer, close enough that Marcus could smell the ammonia tang of its biochemistry. It leaned down, bringing its head level with his. Those compound eyes were like looking into a kaleidoscope of hunger. "I have studied your species, human. You have no claws. No venom. Your skin tears like wet paper. Your bones break easily. You cannot even survive in temperatures that I find comfortable. Why do you not fear me? Marcus met its gaze without flinching. Oh, I'm afraid. My heart's hammering right now. Adrenaline's flooding my system. Every instinct I have is screaming at me to run. Then why do you stand here? Because fear doesn't stop me from doing what's right. Marcus took a breath. See, you studied humans, but you missed the important part. You're from a death world. So are we. Yours has bigger predators. Great. Ours had them too. We didn't have claws or armor or venom, so you know what we did. We picked up rocks. We made spears. We ran our prey to exhaustion over distances that would kill most species on this station. The Karvesh's claws flexed, scraping against the deck plating. Marcus continued, his voice steady. We climbed to the top of our food chain with nothing but our brains and our refusal to quit. We looked at animals that could rip us apart and said, not today. We stared down ice ages, predators, plagues, and each other. We went to our moon before we even had computers. We split the atom before we understood genetics. We're stubborn, we're creative, and we absolutely do not know when to back down. You threaten me? The Karvesh's voice dropped to a dangerous register. No, Marcus said quietly. I'm just standing here. But if you want to test whether humans break as easily as you think. He let the sentence hang. For a long moment, the food court was absolutely silent. Two apex predators, separated by millions of years of evolution, faced each other in the artificial light of a space station built by beings neither of them had met. Then the Karvesh stepped back. It wasn't a retreat, Karvesh didn't retreat. It was a recalculation. The creature's mandibles clicked thoughtfully as it regarded Marcus with what might have been something other than hunger. Respect. Curiosity. Even the translator couldn't parse the nuance. The galaxy underestimates your species, human Marcus Webb, it said, having somehow accessed his personnel file in seconds. This is a mistake we will not repeat. The Karvesh turned and walked away, its claws clicking against the deck. The crowd remained frozen until it disappeared into a transit corridor. Then, slowly, normal activity resumed. The Valerian father approached Marcus, his fur shifting to warm gold. Gratitude, the translator informed him. Human Marcus, the alien said, his voice trembling slightly. You could have died. Marcus picked up his coffee cup, grimacing at the temperature. Yeah, probably. But I didn't. He glanced at the Valerian children, who were staring at him with wide, luminous eyes. Besides, someone had to stand up. Might as well be the new guy. As Marcus walked back to his observation post, he didn't see the way other species watched him leave. Didn't notice the shift in how they perceived humans, not as soft prey, but as something else entirely. Something that chose courage over survival, that faced down monsters with nothing but words and will. The galaxy was learning what the Karvesh had just discovered. Humanity's most dangerous weapon had never been claws or fangs. It was the simple, terrifying fact that when pushed, humans pushed back. Every single time.